and there's not enough time tonight, but there is on our site. What we do is we actually show you how to comp something out on the MLS. We get a property, because he'll go on the MLS and comp it out if it's a big deal. Like I just gave him a house in West Bloomfield, I'm positive he'll comp that out before he puts a deal together on that, So we show you how to do that. So that we give the 27 monthly meetups, so that you can come to 3 of these meetings a month. And then we also have all the forms and past meetings.
And you have videos that break down those forms.
Yeah, and then you can also have access to me if you want something, call me up. I'll tell you who to talk to. So now we talked about, places to find buyers. So the very bottom ones we're going to start Fiverr, Fiverr. Has anybody gone on that and gone to the yellow pages? Okay, you can scrape the yellow pages. So if I was in one in Michigan and scrape the yellow pages and I'm selling in Detroit, then I'm going to scrape for all the real estate agents in Detroit, all the builders in Detroit, all of the mortgage people in Detroit, all the party store owners. I'm going to scrape for the people that I know that would have cash that would be buying those houses. I'm going to scrape real estate investor groups, and that's going to give me an instant buyers list of people that will buy my property. So now I just shortcutted you, got you off to a jump start and having a buyers list. So it costs me $6 for every 5,000 names or something. It's a pretty low cost, but there's scrapers in there. So now I create that list, okay? You want a bigger list and scrape all the realtors from the state of Michigan, So everybody follow what I'm doing? Fiverr, you could also get your website built on Fiverr. Remember we talked about that? You can also find copywriters on Fiverr to rewrite the stuff. On Fiverr, they have to come back with you and say, here's a proof, are you happy with it? When you're not happy with it, then you don't pay it. So,
Just about it.
or it used to be for $5, that's why they called it Fiverr. Now it's $6. $6, yeah. I went in and got a guy that sounded just like Clint Eastwood and Dirty Rotten Scoundrel, all the sayings and that. He created this nice recording to send to somebody so that he wanted to send him a tough message. So what I'm saying is you can find all kinds of interesting stuff in Fiverr. Just stay focused on your website. It's like going to YouTube, you end up weird places. So real estate agents it's the right real estate agents that you want to find. Landlords, like I could go to the city of Pontiac and I could do a Freedom of Information Act on them for you. You just ask them, I want to do Freedom of Information Act, and then you serve it on the city, and they give you a list of all the investors that have their properties registered with the city, which means they're probably getting past it because they're on the once-a-year inspection.
Other wholesalers is a good one. You might call, especially if you're brand new, you might call me and say, I got a deal. Do you want to work it together? I get that call a couple times a day, because I got a buyer's list and other people might share a buyer's list. So that's a way of doing it.
Email broadcasts, Maureen scrapes all the people that are in trouble in Waterford because I've got a buyer for Waterford property. Then I'm going to be able to email them, so you can do email blast.
The MLS, on my contract it says I can list the property or I can assign it, and sometimes you list it, and that's really the best way. That's one of the best ways to get the highest price.
At the courts, remember when you're a landlord, who's the landlord? Landlords. Okay, when you're doing an eviction, it's probably the most motivating time for landlord because now they got, if it's an LLC, you got to hire an attorney to represent you. in Detroit, and if it's gotta do the eviction, you gotta pay for the dumpster, you gotta pay for the court officers, so they're motivated. So if you've got relationships inside the court, being the court clerk, the bailiffs, they can give you the people that are motivated to sell. And they can give you enough information to call. Then like in this room here, the person sitting in the back corner, not paying, raise your hand, I'm not gonna give a name because you have to go to a meeting in order to get this. He is an REO agent. So he does BPOs and handles foreclosed properties for the asset managers, for the mortgage companies. So a BPO is what they call broker's price opinion. So the asset manager knows the house, she's got a house that she's in the process, or they're not making their payments, so they're gonna send him out to look at the property, see if somebody's still living in it, and check the condition. But only this person back in the corner knows about that deal, and the asset manager. Nobody else knows about it. And he gets, he gets between, could you have gotten 100 of those this month? So 100. So now does that not make sense to have a relationship with him?
Sure.
Because what does he know? He knows where there's people that are headed for trouble. Now, they might not want to talk today, they might want to talk tomorrow, but they're headed for trouble. So do you see, it's a property you want to start following.
How do you follow it?
But
I see your house is in foreclosure.
he knows information that you need to know. And you need to figure out how to have a relationship with him that's beneficial to both of you.
And then how would you call that customer? You know, you might mail them a letter that, you know, you're just looking to buy, or you call them and say, hi, how you doing? You know, I like this pocket, I'm buying houses in the area, I'm looking for another 1 or 2 properties. You don't tell them, you know, you ask them, say, I'm just calling to see.
Yeah, because you know at some point,
Yeah.
the husband's gonna tell the wife he hadn't been making the payments.
Yeah.
So,
You know,
something's gonna happen there.
then you explain who you are. Man, I've been doing this a long time, and I help people, you know, just want to sell their house. I could list it, or you know, someone might be behind on a mortgage, or they might be behind some bills, or they just have some repairs to fix. And you kind of fill out what the deal is over there.
You don't have to raise your hand, but if anybody's been in foreclosure in the room, you can raise their hand. Okay, so what happens when you're in foreclosure, they actually post your mailbox or your door with a little notice. But in your head, you think everybody in the entire neighborhood just ran over and read the notice on your mailbox.
Yeah, like it's a big.
I'm just telling you how you are. You're not mentally stable at that point. So, and you're not thinking clearly. So, when you're dealing with somebody like that, you gotta keep talking to them. But if you've been through that situation and you're an investor, then you can relate, you can tell them exactly what happened to you, and they can hear you. And so like, you gotta tell them, you know what it's like to do that, you know? So. Yeah.
And when the BPO orders go out, it's not necessarily, that they're close to that foreclosure process yet. It's that they're at least probably 30 days.
They're on their way, so it's like.
They've missed a payment, folks.
But if
The
you've
bank
got,
wants to know what they're looking at.
so if there's 100 this month and 100 next month, that means over a year's period, there's 1,200 people that you're following. And from the beginning of time till it's time to be booted, so there's opportunity inside all that. So, and you're maybe in the area you want to be in. So, and I know for a fact that he does that and doesn't talk to anybody about it. And I keep pointing him out that people are not taking action on that. So, yard signs, networking. There's another site called REO Network, and REO Network lists all the REO and BPO agents. They sort of go to list themselves, telling the asset managers, we we do BPOs and we handle REO properties.
Where do you find that again?
REOnetwork.com.
Still open.
Yeah, I hope.
Yes.
Oh, it is? Wow.
So on there's all the people you're looking for. But some of those people are fakes, you know, like I want to get business with the mortgage company. I've never done a REO or BPO in my life, but I list myself as some type of expert in there. So you gotta weed through them, you know. Okay, so estimating repair costs. Good luck. Oh, we're running out of time. What time did we say we did?
8:30.
8:30, okay. There's an entire video on how to estimate repair costs on my YouTube channel, Mark Moppin. And then I'd highly recommend joining 27 up the Meetup because we go into great detail in there.
Tom does a video where he took people through his home before and after, talked about the renovations that were made, approximate costs that were spent.
Yeah.
On rehabbing some of his kind of fixing that he's doing.
And you can let the customer tell you a lot of the things, you know, how much for this kitchen, you know, how much for this.
So this is for existing wholesalers and anybody that's looking to sell a property. So it's an absolute mistake to sell some properties at the Renegade, okay? You need to be listing those properties because you're gonna get a whole lot more money. So, so there was a lady who was supposed to be here tonight, she's not here, so I was just gonna talk to her. So Eddie is somebody I'm gonna be working with on creating a video, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna send the video out to all the investors and say, what are you asking for your property? And just find out or go to the thing, and then we're gonna offer to list their property for the commission that he charges, which is real reasonable. And we're gonna say, you don't owe us any commission if you sell your own property. If we can't bring you a price that's higher than what your expectation is, and that's after our commission, you don't owe us anything. So people don't do that, they're called open listings. Typical real estate agent will run from that. We would be more than happy to do that. So here's an example. And Eddie, you're gonna meet her tomorrow morning, right? Tomorrow at 2:30. Okay. So, so here's her property, and she went to the Renegade meeting, she presented this, she had 2 people approach her. So it's a multi-family upper and lower apartment, each one has 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, dining room, separate utilities, and what price did she say she wanted for it? 42,000. And the rooms are good, it needs a roof. Here's sold comps in the area, and I can't see that. What were the sold comps?
One of the highest priced, when you go through, you'll see, there varies, they range from anywhere from 20-some thousand to $65,000, $70,000. The closest comparable to hers sold for $65,000 on October 28th of just this last year. Similar in style, location, amenities with the updates, and so the suggested list price that we would be telling her would be somewhere around $69,900. So even if she needed a new roof, let's say that roof cost her $10,000, so we're looking at $55,000 plus the closing costs, and when she pays the commission, you know, she's looking at still coming away with probably about $50,000.
You guys are suggesting that she buy it and close it, or just?
No, she already owns it.
Oh,
She wants to sell it.
She's trying to sell it herself and doesn't want to pay a commission, so
And
tomorrow
she's
we're gonna
standing
say,
up at the Renegade meeting saying, here's my property and I'm asking $42,000. But
So-
she's not giving anybody any real comparison to
So-
show them why her home is really worth more and
so I'm
has-
really speaking to you guys to go to the Renegade. A lot of times you're selling your property way too cheap at Renegade. You should have it listed, i.e. your real estate.
It's an investor meeting.
What?
It's an investor meeting, so it's kind of not the.
No, I got it, I'm not,
Same.
it's a great place.
No, I mean, I obviously know our
Right,
ties to
but what
Renegade.
she's not showing an investor is the meat on the bone. She's not talking to them about what the comparison is.
So I work for a charity, and people don't donate great property, they donate cars that don't run and houses that are blown apart and dragging taxes, and they're not healthy. So what I was able to sell that property for at Renegade was like here. I put it in the MLS, it was like here. So, and we put properties in the MLS and listed them at a higher number than we thought anybody would ever buy, and we were asked from the other real estate agents, why are we listing this so low? So,
Yeah, couple of the biggest wholesalers that I know in our arena, that's all they do is list them. I mean, they send it out to their buyers list, they give them like 48 hours, they throw it on the way more, and they're killing it.
so what I was gonna do was gonna bring her up here and put a deal together with her picture tonight, but she didn't show up. So he'll have to do all this tomorrow too. If any of you guys go there and mess him up, you get a headache, and you have to key your car.
The reason why we say this is because is that the MLS is reaching a broader public of investors than like a local networking group of guys that are, wholesaling and doing deals like that. But the MLS is reaching the public who wants to, maybe he's an investor who wants to buy one house now, one house 6 months from now, that kind of an investor. So they're willing to pay more.
Yeah, and the investor, there's tons of investors that have no idea there's a room like this, and all they do is buy an MLS. I was one of those guys for years. I learned about wholesaling 3 years ago, never heard of it in my life, and I was a licensed agent, and I was working rentals and everything else, never even heard of wholesaling. So, and all we did was buy houses off the MLS, give them lowball offers, buy short sales, and all those things. So that's all people are trained. 90% of the real estate agents out there hate us, and they have no idea what wholesaling is either. They just have no idea.
But that was, for years and years, I bought everything off the MLS, and I cranked out really low ball offers. Realtors would call me up and say I was a no good son of a gun, they're not gonna present the offer, a piece of slime. And then 6 months later, they're calling back and saying, is your offer still good? So I'm just saying, it was just like creating, it's like farming. So the MLS is a good place, but there's a lot of.
Oh, I got one more great example.
Yeah.
Listen to this. It came out of Villa office. It was a bank-owned property, 7 mile, between 7 and 8, Wyoming, or Illinois and Wyoming on Santa Barbara. Two bedroom brick, 2-car garage, kind of like a ranch style, piece of crap, bank-owned house, 11 grand. They listed it. They had 68 showings, 33 offers or more, and I think it went for $27,000. So that's the MLS, power the MLS. I wanted that house for like 5 grand. I was a little too slow, but I would have never paid that, but that's some investor is gonna fix it. He got 25, put 20 into it, 45 into it, and he's got a $900, $800 rental, he's happy. Out of state investor probably.
Yeah, so get that house, for example, like on that purchase agreement contract, like you're saying you're gonna assign it to a buyer, but instead you're putting that on that MLS. Like how does that work with paperwork, like getting it from like a wholesale contract?
Right. Yeah, so on your wholesale contract, it says you can assign it, you can market it, you could list it on the MLS, you could do this, you could do that, you could do that. You gotta be with a broker that understands that and
You gotta have a
allows
right.
it, you gotta have your seller disclosures, you gotta do everything the right way. And then in the listing, it'll say maybe you have an equitable interest in the property or something like that. And you can list it, and you better let the seller know what you're doing, or else they're gonna freak out because the neighbor's gonna say, you're listing your house.
So the best thing to do is, like, if you're stopped from doing this, is find somebody that you can actually work with, like an investor that's actively doing it. They don't have enough time to go through it. So basically, how to find a trainer is there's people in this room that sit up and told you some of the areas, those are the people you want to talk to see if you can work with them, active investors. And that's what you're going to find a lot of at the Renegade meeting. And
Absolutely. Renegades is a great place to start the learning process.
then Todd, sometimes, I don't know if you do it anymore, do you don't?
I'm gonna start being more live on Facebook. Go to my Facebook page. I'm gonna start doing a meetup. I'm gonna be out there every day. You guys are
We ever
sick
do
of.
a cold calling day again?
I'm gonna work on, we're gonna start doing a cold calling, making phone calls together.
Are you still doing your TC deals in the D on Mondays?
I'm not, but I'm gonna start that back up. I just gotta reorganize some things, so.
Are you still buying investor lunches on Tuesday?
I'm not doing that anymore.
Doing everything else?
Yeah, a few final tips. If you're gonna get a real estate license here in this market, I would go to Michigan Real Estate Institute, and there's no relationship there other than the fact that he gets a high amount of people through and teaches you how to really take the test. You do not want to go online and buy a course online because the online courses are geared to multi-states and they're way more difficult to get through. So you want to go locally. You want to go to either Namir George or
Next page, maybe.
maybe it's the next one. Middleton. Middleton Real Estate's another good one. So then if you're going to become a brand new investor and a real estate agent, you want to become a real estate agent, you want to work with a company that works with real estate agents. Maureen and Bill is the best. I'm partners at another real estate company that has investor agents, and I'm telling you, she's a better bet because she does training. They handle lots of REO properties, and everything we talked about that you can do can be done there. So how many agents are in Villa in the room here? So you can look, so talk to one of them. And you can also get paid while you learn because she'll give you BPOs to work on. Just talk to her after the meeting. But the thing that, remember at the beginning I said we sell picks and shovels? The 27monthlymeetup.com is our site. Go there and check it out. Every meeting we've ever had is on there. The videos, all the forms, the buyer favorable, rental agreements, lease options, all that stuff's on that site, and how to do it's on the site. So, yes, sir.
Yeah. If I made my sign say I'm a cash buyer, where would I get cash from? If I decided I want to get into wholesaling, buying property, paying cash, where would I get cash?
Private. If you really want to do it, you go to a private lender. I can give you like 5 or 6 of them in our market.
Yeah, and we're going to be having a class on it.
We've got a class with one of those guys, and he'll walk you through it, but I can help you with that.
Or we just did the last month, there was a hard money guy
Yeah.
that was here.
Do you want the money, what do you want?
But you're not a wholesaler.
You wanna buy it, or do you wanna wholesale it? Do you want the cash to buy it, or you mean if you had a sign that says, call me, I'm a cash buyer?
Yeah, if I want to start a business, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm be an investor. And I don't have any money, so.
Well then, all right, so, but you wanna start a business, you got a sign, they call you, and you go look at the house, and you say, I'll give you 10 grand for it.
Right.
You're asking, where are you gonna get the 10 grand, you don't have it?
Yeah.
Well, you're getting a piece of paper that says 10 grand on it.
Yeah.
Okay, and then with that piece of paper, then you better work on, call me or someone else or find some buyers. Because your paper says you can assign it for this guy for 4 grand, and he's gonna step in and take over this 10 grand contract. So you just make 4 grand, and he comes to closing with the 10 grand. Does that make sense?
And Todd, what would your contract typically have for the timeline on it? 60 days, 90 days?
30 to 45 days, things like that usually. The longer the better, but they're gonna get nervous, and if it's gonna take you 60 days, you're gonna lose the deal probably. There's deals, I ran a couple deals just the other day. I pretty much walked away but I told the guy, I'm gonna go find a buyer, but I'm not gonna put it under contract and lock it up and do this and do that. Yeah, right, go ahead.
So we'll stick around, so if you've got questions, but I know some people got a timeline because we put one on there. So did you guys all get value out of tonight? Is everybody, if you didn't see me, and we really appreciate it. Jim's cards are over here on the desk, and feel free to network for a while. Okay, we really appreciate you coming. Okay.
If you guys wanna text